guys, Little Poppy Mama here. Today I'm making black walnut tincture. This is the time of year that black walnuts are ripe. Many of you across the country in the Midwest, the Northeast United States, you've got black walnuts that grow wild. Missouri, Ohio, Kentucky, Northeast Texas, Northern Louisiana, not so far down south as Florida, but definitely in the Midwest. You got a lot of black walnuts. How will you know that you've got a black walnut tree? This is the branch of a black walnut. Have a look at those leaves. If you break a leaf off and crunch it up, it has a distinct smell. I really like it. It's an antiseptic kind of smell. The best indicator that you've got a black walnut is you're going to find these little suckers all over the ground around it. You can use the ones that have fallen on the ground for a tincture, but ideally you're going to get someone big and tall that climb up in that tree for you, or maybe a low branch, and you're going to get these green ones that are still on the tree. Now you might be asking, what am I going to do with this black walnut tincture? Well, I'm going to tell you. Because I sell this tincture at my shop, I'm not allowed to tell you that black walnut tincture will cure your athlete's foot and your jock itch. But I am allowed to tell you that black walnut is a useful, valuable ally in your journey to embrace your foot funk. I can't tell you that it is a cure, but I can explain to you how it works. No fungus will grow on a living black walnut. Now there's going to be someone who chimes in and goes, no, black walnut gets canker, and that's a fungus. Okay, that's true. But black walnut canker is a fungus which is brought into the bark and into the trunk of a black walnut tree by a beetle. The beetle gets in there and it damages the tree. When the tree starts to die, then the fungus can take over. But what we're dealing with is the living parts of the black walnut, and you can also use the leaves, but that's a different video. Today we're going to make a tincture for your athlete's foot, your foot funk, your jock itch, and any other kind of a bodily fungus that might be causing you grief. And it's super easy, and it's going to save you a ton of money on athlete's foot creams and sprays that don't work, because this one, though I can't tell you it works, okay, super easy. All you're going to need is a jar lid. If you can't find a jar or a jar lid, use a jam jar and a rubber band and a paper towel. Just like that. So another myth I'm going to dispel real quick about black walnuts is that it's some sort of a laborious process to harvest the husk of the black walnut. No. To harvest the nut of a black walnut, okay, now you got to put them in the driveway and drive over them with your truck, or put them in a cement mixer, or all kinds of fancy stuff. But to harvest the husk, all you're going to need is a knife. Now, do this carefully, because I don't want anybody getting cut with a knife and coming back and saying, Little Poppy Mama told me to use a sharp knife and now I've cut off my fingers. Okay, we're not doing that, so you're going to be very careful. And all you're going to do is you're going to come with your knife on the side of the black walnut, and you're going to slice just the green husk, just like that, just the green husk. It's not so hard to do. It's kind of like slicing through an unripe avocado. Like, you want to brace yourself and you want to have some strength going into it, but it's nothing compared to having to go get a pickup truck and drive over them in the driveway. And then maybe come through and give them another slice just to get those plant juices going. You're going to come and you're going to drop it into your jar just like that. And I'll take another one. Just going to slice it right off there. If you're using the walnuts that have already fallen on the ground, you're probably going to discover that they have a lot of black spots in them. In that case, you do have to pick and choose, because you don't want to use those black spots. See, this is one that had fallen on the ground, and you see all those little black spots in there? That actually, I think, is a little insect that gets in there and it causes it to rot. So you don't want to make your tincture out of that. You want to use these nice, fresh, big fatties from the tree. So get your man up there with the ladder and tell him to get you some walnuts out of the tree. So I'm going to slice up a little bit more. Let that tractor go by. And y'all city folks can't be complaining about noises. You got cars and stuff. I get a tractor that drives by like maybe every hour or so. So it's not so bad. You want to fill your jar up about 3/4 of the way. So I'll do one more. Just to show you, it's really not that hard. Plus, I really like the smell of black walnut. There you go. Give it another little chop. That's all you're gonna do. Now you've got a couple choices for mediums of what you're gonna use as your base for your tincture. I do them with both. You can choose. I use Everclear or witch hazel. If you're gonna use witch hazel, you can get it at Walmart or whatever big box store you get it from. Get the cheapest one possible. You're not investing in a super nice witch hazel that you'd use on your face. This one, in fact, has 14% alcohol. That's what makes them cheap, because they have alcohol. I think that the alcohol lends a little property and helping with that foot funk, so I would use a witch hazel with alcohol. If you're not using witch hazel and you want to use Everclear, you can also use vodka. And I see a lot of people talking about using 100 proof vodka. I've never seen this Sasquatch vodka. Every time I look for vodka, I find 80 proof vodka. So I just go for Everclear. It's 190 proof, super strong. If you find 100 proof Sasquatch vodka, go ahead and use that. I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna pour it in my jar, just like that. Might as well use it all up. And gotta borrow a lid over here. You know, there's a jar lid shortage. Put your lid on, shake it up. That's it, you're done. Aside from maybe you want to let it sit for a couple weeks, but you could totally use it right away. And as a matter of fact, if you're suffering truly from a foot funk right now and it's killing you and you can't go no further in your life, take that husk and rub it in between your toes, right? But better is if you got your tincture. Now, this is my tincture that I made last year. See how it's so black and you can't see through it, and our fresh one you can see through it? That happens really quick. I'm going to show you. I have these jars from the video takes that I did before. This is the one from about an hour ago. It's already turning black. Let's see. This is the one from about 30 minutes ago. That's 20 minutes ago. And that's my fresh one. This is what you're going for, but this is a year-old tincture. This happens in maybe 2 or 3 days, so you won't have to wait a year for it to get black. You can see how black that one is already. So let it sit for a couple weeks. If you're suffering, rub the little husk on your toes, and I'll show you how to use it really quick with this one. Get yourself a little paper towel or cotton swab or whatever. I'll use this one. We're gonna pretend my hand is your foot. You're just gonna take it and rub between your toes, just like this. Rub between. By the way, my fingers are black. That's from the black walnut. In fact, I think that might be why they call them black walnuts, because they'll stain your fingers black. Just rub that right between your toes, like that, all over your feet. If you've got the jock itch, you're gonna do the same thing. Make sure you don't have trigger bites, because that alcohol will burn, and just get up in there in your jock. And again, I can't tell you it's gonna cure your jock itch or your athlete's foot, but I can tell you this is a powerful ally in your journey that will support you on your quest to embrace your athlete's foot funk. Now, I can't think of anything easier. I just want to let you know, you don't have to wear crystals. You don't have to have dreadlocks. You can be an average Joe or Jane on the street, driving by the black walnut. You can find them on the ground, chop them up, put them in the jar, add some alcohol, and you now have saved yourself a ton of money on athlete's foot creams and sprays that don't work anyway. And this process that I've just shown you to make this tincture, this is how you make all herbal tinctures. If it's not black walnut, whatever herb, catnip, what's another herb? Juniper I like, but California poppies is another one. Any tincture that you're making, this is the process. You're gonna chop up the herb, you're gonna put it in the jar, you're gonna pour alcohol over it. Most tinctures, you wanna let them sit for 6 to 8 weeks minimum. The longer they sit, the more juicy they are. But that's it. There's no mystery, there's no magic, no dreadlocks or crystals required. Anybody can do it. And I hope that this helps you in your quest to embrace your foot funk. And I hope you'll follow my Instagram, Little Poppy Mama. And I wish you all a very happy sugar-free summer.